Hi everyone! This is Lesson 6-8, Expressing and Interpreting Remainders. So, we've been learning there are 3 different things you can do with a remainder. You can round up, when everyone or everything has to fit and you can't leave anything out. You can share it, report it as a fraction or a decimal. We do this when we're working with money or food or measurements, anything that's easy to split up into equal parts. Sometimes we need to ignore the remainder. When a question asks for full or whole items, and those items cannot be easily split. So let's look at some examples. 3 children share 16 car toys equally. What does each child share? So let's talk about the division. 3 children are equally sharing 16 toy cars. So I have to think, how many times can 3 go into 16? My math facts can help me here. I know that 3 times 5 is 15, and that is the closest I can get to 16 without going over. So 3 can go into 16 5 times. 3 times 5 is 15, minus, and I'm left with 1, a remainder of 1. 5 remainder of 1. Now, what do I do with that remainder? First, I need to think, what is that remainder? What am I sharing? I'm sharing 16 toy cars. So what's left? 1 toy car is left. Can I split that toy car into equal parts? What do I do with the remainder in this story? I'm going to ignore it. Each child is going to get 5 cars. That's the answer. I ignore my remainder of 1. I can't split it up. I'm going to ignore it. Let's try another. Anna has $18 to buy notebooks that cost $4 each. How many can she buy? Okay, so we have $18 to spend, and each notebook costs $4. So how many $4 can I get out of the $18 that I have to spend? How many times can 4 go into 18? Thinking about my math facts, I think 4 times 4 equals 16. That's the closest I can get to 18 without going over. So 4 can go into 18 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. I need to subtract. I have a remainder of 2. 4 remainder of 2. What do I do with that remainder? What is that remainder? So this was $18, and I can buy 4 notebooks, and I will be left with $2. What can I do with those $2? Money can be divided equally. Do I report it as a fraction? I would buy 4 notebooks. Wait a minute, I can't buy a fraction of a notebook. I need to ignore this remainder because my remainder is $2. And $2 is not enough money to buy another notebook. So I'm going to ignore this remainder. And my answer is, Anna will buy 4 notebooks. Esteban has 29 photographs. He can fit 6 photos on each page of his photo album. How many pages must he use to hold all 29 photos? Okay, let's do the math. 29 photos divided into groups of 6. Let's use our math facts to help us. I think 6 times 5 is 30, so that's too much. So I think that 6 times 4 is 24, and that is the closest I can get to 29 without going over. So 6 can go into 29 4 times. 6 times 4 is 24. 29 minus 24 leaves me with a remainder of 5. 4 remainder of 5. Okay, what do I do with the remainder now? What is my remainder? So 29 were photographs. So if I use 4 pages on a photo album, that means I would be putting 24 photos into the photo album, and there are 5 photographs left over. Wait a minute, he doesn't want to leave these 5 photographs, leave them out of the photo album. No, he wants to include those. I'm going to need another page. I need to round up this remainder. So in order for Esteban to be able to fit all of his photographs, he's going to need another page for these 5 photographs. He is going to need 5 pages. Mrs. Brown made 25 brownies for the winners of the science fair. The 4 winners will divide the brownies equally and take them home. What share of the brownies will each of the winners receive? Okay, 25 brownies. And we are sharing those equally with 4 people. Okay, so I think 4 times 6 is 24. That's the closest I could get to 25 without going over. So 4 can go into 25 6 times because 6 times 4 is 24. Now I subtract and I'm left with a remainder of 1. What do I do with that remainder? Okay, what is that remainder? 25 brownies. There's 1 brownie left over. Each person is going to get 6 brownies. What can these 4 people do with this leftover brownie? Brownies can be cut into equal pieces, can't they? So for this story, my remainder of 1 brownie, well, I'm going to report it as a fraction. So if the 4 people, the 4 winners, share this last brownie, they'll each get 1/4 of the brownie. So the winners will receive 6 and 1/4 brownies. Remember, this lesson is about what to do with the remainder when we're dividing and we're answering a story problem. So we have to think, what is that remainder before we decide what to do with it? Is it a situation where I need to round up? A situation where I would need to share that remainder? Or a situation where I need to ignore that remainder? We're going to practice some problems today where you'll be doing division, and to answer the story problems, you'll have to decide what to do with that remainder. Good luck!